Okay, so we're actually moving to Unit 8, Samples and Populations, and we are going to jump back to Unit 6, What Do You Expect, after this one. And the reason why we're doing that is because a lot of the stuff that you'll see on your state testing will be from samples and populations, and what do you expect is not as heavily tested, so we want to get this one in there before you start taking your SBAC testing. So 1.1 and 1.2 using center and spread, and using MAD to compare samples. I believe we're on page 51. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure we're on 51. Okay, so I'll post your textbook online so you can see what I'm talking about. I might flip to it throughout your video so you can see what I'm talking about, but if you want to see copies of your textbook, you can download them from the Google Classroom and take a look. So I put them together because we're going to go through both of them at the same time, and it's important to see that they are very well connected. And a lot of this is a review from 6th grade, but a lot of it is pretty tricky, so we're going to review it all over again. So measures of center and spread, and using MAD to compare samples. So let's talk about center and spread first. So these are measures of center. Okay, so these first two measures of center, maybe I'll put a thing off to the side. Measures of center. So this is the different ways of finding the middle of items of a set of numbers. So I have a set of numbers here. Let's find the middle. Okay, this median is an actual center. So the median, I'll put this down here, median is the middle number. Okay, it's the middle number when items are put in order, and the mean is the average. Okay, that is the average. What is the usual test score, or what is the usual points per game, or if you are into video games, like how many points or how many kills does someone get in a game where they're shooting each other? I don't know. Okay, so these are measures of center. Measures of spread is how far the numbers are from each other. Okay, and for that one, what we're going to do is we're actually going to copy these two, and we're going to call that our range. So let me put that down here. This one, let me move these two down here. This one and this one, scoot this down. Mia's and June's let's reorganize this a little bit. And range here, this one here, this range that I marked here, this is how far the numbers are from each other. So I'll put this down here. Range, that is the biggest number, biggest minus the smallest. So that tells me, well, this is your best score, this is your lowest score. How far away are they from each other? Sometimes I'm really, really good. I score hundreds, and you know I'm the best player on the team, and other days I'm the worst player. I'm not very consistent. Whereas if your biggest and smallest, if there's not a very big number between there, if the numbers are very close together, then you're much more consistent. Okay, so let's start calculating these two things. I'm going to do all of June's calculations first. Okay, so I'm going to do all of June's calculations first. So it says June's mean. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the median first, but still June's. So here's June's numbers. He got 3 test scores, 80, 60, and 100. I'm going to put them in order. Okay, so median is important to have things in order. 60, 80, 100. Okay, and my median is the number in the middle. There you go. My median is 80. Just the number in the middle. Okay. to find the mean, I don't have to put them in order. All I need to do is I need to add them all up. 60 plus 80 plus 100. So that means 60 plus 80 is 140 plus 100. That's 240. And I can divide that by 3. Okay. So once I find my my mean, my average, okay, once I add up all the numbers, this is me adding all the numbers up together, all my test scores. I divide it by the number of items I added up. 1, 2, 3, I divide it by 3. If I added up 5 numbers, I'm going to divide it by 5. 240 divided by 3 is also 80. So my mean, or my average, is 80. To get the range, I'll have the big number minus the smallest number. Well, the smallest number isn't 80. The smallest number is 60. Biggest number minus the smallest number. 100 minus 60, we have a range of 40 points. So sometimes he does really, really well, sometimes not so well. Okay, we'll do the same thing for Mia. And again, I'm going to do this in the same order. The median, I'm going to put these tests in order. The lowest score is 75, the middle score is 80, and the high score is 85. They have the same median. The middle score is 80. Okay. The average, I'll add them up. 75 plus 80. 75 plus 80. 75 plus 80 is 155. 155 plus 85, that's 155, 160. Again, that's going to be 240. We'll divide that by 3 again. And our average is 80 again. So what you notice is, even though they have different test scores, even though their scores are different, they have the same average and they have the same median. Okay, their range will be different though. What you'll notice is if I have the big number 85 and I minus a small number, I have a range of 10. Mia is much more consistent with her scoring. Her range is like, oh, C is okay, a B is good. Whereas this person's like, wow, I got an A and then I got a D. They're very, very different scores. Okay. Okay, so these are my measures of center and spread. Okay, and we're actually going to kick this up a little bit and we're going to go into MAD, mean absolute deviation. Okay, mean absolute deviation, which is 1.2. 1.2 says using MAD to compare samples. So here I was able to compare samples. They had the same average, the same medians, but their ranges were different. Mia is much more consistent. She only has a range of 10. June has a range of 40. They both have the same average, so it worked out so well so far. But when Mia comes home and shows her test to her parents, not so bad. They're pretty consistent. June, he comes home, shows his parents 100. Awesome. Shows his parents a 60. What the heck happened? Mia's isn't very much variability. Not much is changing. This is a variability word right there. Okay, not much is changing throughout her testing. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we actually answered question A here. Found the median and mean, mean of Mia and June's score. We compared them. What do we notice about them? Now we're gonna answer question B. We're gonna actually find, well, we found the range, and we're gonna find the mean absolute deviation of June's test scores and of Mia's test scores. We're gonna compare them. Okay. So we're going to do MAD, and this is one that a lot of people are getting stuck on. They have a lot of trouble calculating the MAD. Okay, so I'm going to put a link here I'll put a video, a Khan Academy video. It's very good. I look at it every time I teach it to remind me, but I'll go over the MAD with you one more time. Okay, so let me write this word MAD. Okay, MAD, mean absolute deviation. Okay, this is a way of finding a different measure of spread. Okay, this means average. Okay, so this part means average. We know that already because it's right here. Absolute means only positive numbers. Only positive numbers. So we're going to do subtractions here and we might end up with negative numbers, but we're only concerned with the positive version of those numbers. Okay, and deviation is how much change. Not just change. How much change? How much change? So we're looking for those three things: average, only positive, change. Okay. So I'm gonna start calculating this on a fresh page. Okay. But I'm gonna bring this image with us to the next page. Okay. So we're gonna find mean absolute deviation. Just a second. Let's get everything ready. Okay. So the first thing we need to do. Okay, I'm gonna write this out so we know what it all is. The first thing we need to do is find the average. Okay, and we already did that. So I'm gonna do the average one more time so you can see what it looks like. So find the average. I'm just gonna do June's work right now. 80, that's this number, plus 60, that's this number, plus 100 equals 240. That 100 was right here. I'm going to divide it by the three numbers. 1, 2, 3 numbers I added up equals 80. This is my average. Okay, this is my mean. Remember, in mean absolute deviation, or MAD, I need this number. Okay, and I'm going to use this number a lot. Okay, so first thing, find the average. The next thing we're going to need to do is find the difference of the average and each number. Okay, now it sounds confusing, but it really isn't. Difference means subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to subtract. Difference means subtract. I'm going to subtract 80 minus every number. 80 minus 80, 80 minus 60, and then 80 minus 100. Okay, now this is the absolute part. Some of these numbers will be negative, but I'm only going to keep the positive versions of them. So find the difference, subtraction, of the average, that's the 80, and each number. So here's my average, 80 minus 80. Here's that 80 right there. You know what? I'm going to change this. 80, that's my mean, minus 80, that's this number here. Okay. I'm going to find only the positive version of this number, and I'm going to add it to, I'm going to do it again. Here's my average, 80 minus 60. And again, I only want the positive version of this. And then I'm going to add that to, again, the same thing, 80 minus 100. And that's this number here. And again, I only want the positive versions of these numbers. So this is absolute. These are the absolute signs. That means only give me the positives of these numbers. Only give me the positives of these numbers. So 80 minus 80 is, well, that's 0. That's easy. 80 minus 60, that's 20. And 80 minus 100, that's negative 20. But again, I only want the positive versions. So we can add them all up. Okay. Now I'm going to find the average again. So number 3 is find the average again. Okay, so you need to know how to add and divide a lot. Adding and dividing. So easy. Okay, find the average again of the, let's put this, of the differences. Okay, so the differences, that means the subtractions. So I'm going to add these all up. This 0 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, which equals 40, and I'm going to divide that by 3, because I added 3 numbers again. 1, 2, 3. 40 divided by 3 is going to be, I think, 13.3 and a third. Okay, I'll continue this on the next video.